Competitive forces. Part A. Evaluate the sources of competition in an industry or sector using Porter's 5 forces framework. The level of profit that can be sustained in an industry is largely influenced by the state of competition in that industry. Thereby, Porter's 5 forces model is used to identify the competition in any given market. According to the model, the stronger the 5 forces, the lower the level of profit that can be sustained in the industry. Similarly, we can also analyse the competition in an industry because the competition in an industry and intensity of 5 forces factors go parallel. Intense competition in an industry reduces profits. This may result from slow growing or declining markets, excess capacity, or barriers to exit. Competition and rivalry are the 5th and one of the major factors being analysed in an industry. This is performed to identify the intensity of competition among existing firms in the industry. Threats of new entrants is one more 5 forces factor that is analysed to identify the barriers to entry for new startups in the industry. High presence of new entrants always intensifies the competition in the industry. This increases the number of companies operating in a particular industry. This scenario gives consumers an edge to buy from a large pool of vendors, as they have got a large number of options to choose from. Thereby, based on these 2 factors of Porter 5 forces, one can identify the competition scenario in an industry. Part B. Analyse customers and markets, including market segmentation. To be successful, a company needs to satisfy its customers better and respond to market opportunities more effectively than its competitors. To be able to do this, a company first needs to understand its customers and the markets in which it is competing in order to develop appropriate strategies. Customers buy a product or service because it satisfies a need or provides them with some value. To deliver value, an organisation must understand its customers' needs and what they consider to be important. Critical success factors are the aspect of a product or service that are particularly valued by customers. An organisation must excel at critical success factors in order to gain a competitive advantage. Similarly, in order to trade effectively in a market, a company needs to understand the composition and behaviour of the market. A company must consider market attractiveness and business attractiveness factors to recognise the market culture. The attractiveness of a market is determined by factors such as the size of the market, profit margins, market growth, existing suppliers, and intensity of competition. A company also needs to analyse business attractiveness of its products or services, that whether it will be attractive to the customer or not in that market. Market segmentation can be defined as the division of a market into homogeneous groups of potential customers who may be treated similarly for marketing purposes. Very few products can satisfy all the customers in a market because customers have different requirements from the products they buy. To satisfy customer needs successfully, different products or services need to be offered to the different customer groups that comprise a market. Segmentation enables an organisation to get a better understanding of customer requirements in a segment, so that the organisation can tailor its product to meet the needs of those customers as effectively as possible. Part C. Apply Porter's value chain to assist organisations to identify value-adding activities in order to create and sustain competitive advantage. Porter's value chain model is a useful framework for assessing the strategic capabilities of an organisation, as it offers a bird's-eye view of the firm and what it does and how its processes add value to the end customer. The margin is the excess the customer is prepared to pay over the cost to the firm of obtaining resource inputs and provide value activities. It represents the value created by the value activities themselves and by the management of the linkages between them. The primary activities are predominantly involved in the production of goods, and support activities provide the necessary assistance. Linkages are the relationships between activities. Primary activities are directly related to production, sales, marketing, delivery, and service. The value chain concept is an important tool in analysing the organisation's strategic capability, since it focuses on the overall means by which value is created, rather than on structural functions or departments. There are two important connected aspects to this analysis. It enables managers to establish activities that are particularly important in providing customers with the value they want. Such an understanding assists managers in building a sustainable competitive advantage, as consideration can be given to where management attention and other resources are best applied, either to improve weaknesses or to further exploit strengths. Value chain analysis can be extended to include an assessment of the costs and benefits associated with the various value activities. Part D. Advise on the role and influence of value networks. As well as managing its own value chain, a firm can secure competitive advantage by managing the relationships with the value chains of its suppliers and customers. An organisation's value chain is not bound by an organisation's borders. It is connected to a value network. The value network is the set of inter-organisational links and relationships that are necessary to create a product or services. The value network places an emphasis on the value-creating capability within the supply chain processes. It is possible for large organisations to exercise power over suppliers and customers in the value network by using their bargaining power to achieve preferential purchase and selling prices. Nonetheless, careful management of the relationships in the value network can promote innovation and the creation of knowledge between organisations. Part E. Evaluate the opportunities and threats posed by the environment of an organisation. An organisation needs to analyse the environment in which it operates in order to understand its current strategic position and to develop future strategies. The external environment is a source of opportunities and threats to an organisation, which can influence an organisation's ability to survive and grow. Changes in the environment may mean that the organisation needs to change its strategy in response, either to take advantage of opportunities or to protect itself from potential threats. An organisation can use various models such as SWOT analysis and pestle analysis to analyse its environment. The choice of model mainly depends on the level at which the environment is being analysed. The external environment is a source of threats as well as opportunities. External changes that could damage a business are known as threats. In contrast, external changes that a business could exploit to its advantages are known as opportunities. A complete awareness of the organisation's environment and its internal capacities is necessary for rational consideration of future strategy, but it is not sufficient. The threats must be drawn so that potential strategies may be developed and assessed.